I was out partying and I was going to bring a bunch of, like Molly to the boys in AZ. And, I looked at my girl who was driving and I was like, hey, don't get pulled over. I'm going to take a nap. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm going to take a nap. And I took a nap and I got woken up. And she was like, babe. And I was like,
You had one job.
you had one job. Yeah,
You had one job.
I was like, no. And I knew, and here I am, dude. Black dude, tatted up. I am all the wrong things in life right now. I am not that guy, but I'm that freaking guy, dude.
Yeah.
Guns in the car, because we're going to go shoot guns too. So it's like drugs, guns, all this. And I'm just sitting in this car while this cop like pulls my girl out of the car because she was going, 20, 30 over the speed limit. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, Father, I'm like, this is how I am.
Back here at the Core Medical Appreciation or Military Appreciation Weekend, and man, we've got some amazing people on the team here, and my man Byron is one of the best.
Well,
One
thank
of the best. And you've got some chapters in your life that you have lived, my man.
you. Yes, sir.
So I'm interested to ask you these questions and
Okay.
see what you come up with. But let's get straight into it.
Okay.
What is the hardest lesson life has ever forced you to learn?
I love this one. It's so good. It's right there. That I am not a good God. That's it. I'm not a good God, dude. Like, so being that I'm, with all humility, I'm pretty super strong. Like,
Yeah.
I'm strong. I don't do anything unless it brings me power, dude. So like Marine Corps, war, life, death. We had to make these decisions overseas. Going into like the meat grinder with the boys, like this is the ultimate test of manhood
Yeah.
to me at that age in a certain way, right? And so you get done, boom, you get on a big EP detail, traveling the world, making six figures, all like so like my little ego, and I mean I've always my heavenly Father's been close to me my whole life, but like I'm Byron is God complex right above me, whether I realize it or not. I won't say it, but I'm solving all my problems, right? So
Yeah.
like I'm finding my happiness. I'm living for I'm living for me. I'm making money. I'm cool. I'm doing all these things, and then of course it just starts culminating into the same crushing reality that so many of us land in, which is just like, dude, I can't do all this on my own. I'm not a good God. I can't meet all my needs. If I continue partying this way and doing all these drugs and freaking spending my life and my money this way, focused on me, right? Which is the whole like masculine developmental phase of like, are you strong to be of service? Are you dependent? Are you dependable? Like, or are you strong for your own self? Like, are you Peter Panning around here, or are you actually providing? Are you like, And so for me, I hit this point where I was like, by the grace of God, my heavenly Father's just like letting me see paths. He's like, okay, this is you continuing down this path, spending your money like this, partying, doing all these things, and look at how it's just destroying everyone around you, destroying you. Like you could go to jail. And I just had these experiences. Like I got pulled over with a bunch of stuff in the car at a certain point, and God's just staring at me like, yeah, bro, this is how it is. Like, you got this? You got this? Because if you got this, I'm just going to let this whole thing play out. And, I got grace, and I learned that, like, the ways and the tools that I use to meet my own needs as a man were immature and destructive to myself and other people around me. So I eventually buckled and said, all right, Father, there's a way for you that you have for me to live. Let me superimpose these higher quality values that I may not understand because I'm too immature right now. Let me superimpose these values on my life and let you be God in my life and see where I end up. And you better be God, because I don't think I can do this. In fact, the reality is you can't do it. That's the whole reason.
Right.
He's got to help you become what he created you to be. And so that was the hardest lesson. Is like, yo, you're cool. You went to war. Yeah, like you got this. You're winning in all these areas, but you're not that cool, bro.
Yeah.
And,
Life can still grab a hold of you.
and never forget it, because
Yeah.
the day you forget it, you got to learn it all over again.
So on that vein, what's a moment in your life where you thought, "Oh man, this is gonna break me," and then how did you push through it?
This is how I end.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this
Like,
is good
this is
stuff,
it.
dude. So breaking point. I mean, there was the breaking point that I mentioned, where, I ended up getting pulled over by the cops. And like I wasn't a drug dealer or anything. I was just like a dude that liked to have some fun with the boys. You know what I'm saying?
When I wasn't working.
when I wasn't
Yeah.
working. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I mean, I was going through my own PTSD experience. I felt like a freaking Lamborghini forced to drive in a school zone, and like for the rest of my life, like I was trying to wrap my brain around the fact that it was like Nerf for the rest of my life, like childproof scissors. Like I'm never gonna be able to like go hard and fast again. I'm just like I'm a bodyguard, so I'm I'm just taking care of people. So that was big for me. So I sought my dopamine other ways. You know what I'm saying? So I was out partying, and I was going to bring a bunch of, like Molly to the boys in AZ. And, I looked at my girl who was driving, and I was like, hey, don't get pulled over. I'm going to take a nap. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm going to take a nap. And I took a nap, and I got woken up. And she was like, babe. And I was like,
You had one job.
you had one job. Yeah,
You had one job.
I was like, no. And I knew, and here I am, dude. Black dude, tatted up. I am all the wrong things in life right now. I am not that guy, but I'm that freaking guy, dude.
Yeah.
Guns in the car, because we're going to go shoot guns too. So it's like drugs, guns, all this. And I'm just sitting in this car while this cop like pulls my girl out of the car because she was going, 20, 30 over the speed limit. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, Father, I'm like, this is how I end, And of course, this is well over a decade ago. So statute of limitations, y'all, leave me alone.
Yeah.
But like I'm sitting here, and I'm like, this is how I end, man. And God was just like, this is where you're heading. Like, this is you. Like, the only way you know how to make yourself happy is by taking a bunch of drugs and releasing all this dopamine in your body and running around with friends and having all these cheap concepts of fun, and you don't know how to actually unlock meaning and fulfillment and a lasting state of value. Yeah. And so the way I pushed through it was I just humbled myself, and I looked at my life and what I knew and how I was raised, and I was like, dude, I know God has a way that I should be living, and I'm not doing that because I don't believe I can. I don't want to be one of these happy wife, happy life, nice church guys. Like, I can't do that, like one female for the rest of my life, like that's it. Like to me, that was a death. Okay. And so the way I pushed through it was I submitted, and I said, Father, I'm going to do this your way, but like you got to show up, because I'm going to get bored, and I'm either going to eat my 9 mil like all the homies, or I'm just going to reset, and it's going to be even worse when I get back in here. Yeah. And it took me about 6 months to a year of just being faithful and like seeking him and trying to figure out what he wanted me to do next in life, and walking away from all the partying, walking away from all the toxic things in my life. I basically hit monk mode and reset.
That was the moment that did it?
Yeah. That moment pushed me into that part of the swimming pool. And then he met me, and now we're on a journey and an adventure I could not have imagined in my wildest dreams.
It is so much better.
100%. And it's so wholesome and good.
Yeah.
And still gnarly. It's still gnarly.
Oh, it's still gnarly, but in a
it's like
different
okay
way.
Though.
Yeah, in a
like,
completely different way.
Things are okay. They're good.
When we talk about leadership and resilience, what's something about the weight of responsibility that people don't understand?
Responsibility is like, it's like a beautiful woman, like everyone sees leaders and they're like, I want to be in charge. I want to be in charge. Like I think immature dudes want that, but like they don't realize, like, if you have that smoking hot trophy wife, like a lot comes with that. Beauty's a power, mm-hmm. Like can you be secure in yourself to match that power and not sell out for it? Can you be secure enough in yourself to realize that, hey, if we find out this isn't right for me, I'm gonna have to pass on this. And I'm going to have to be willing to let this power go, because I'm not going to be defined by something external. Like, you don't ever want leadership until you're ready for it. And so I feel like a lot of dudes look at it and they see it's kind of flashy and kind of strong, and they're like, they want it. But to me, it's something I've never wanted and always been forced into, because I greatly respect the developmental processes necessary before you get there. Yeah. Because once you have it, it's like, okay, now you have this beautiful person in your life. Like, can you be the match for that in the masculine now? Do you offer enough to be deserving of that type of thing. And if you don't, hey, life is going to course correct. And so you can, another thing that I think people don't realize is you can never take people in your tribe farther than you have gone. And so cats get that black belt or they rank up or whatever, and they're like, sweet, I made it. It's like, homie, no, bro. Like now you got to run and stay out ahead. I can't take my kids farther than I understand about finances. I can't implement discipline and give my kids discipline if I don't have it. You know, like I can't take my kids farther or my family or my company or my employees farther than I've gone. So if you're that leader, dude, you have to be out front learning and keeping distance between you and everyone else so you have value, you know, when you open your mouth and when you make decisions, you know. That's a full-time job. That's on top of doing the work. You're doing the work and you got to learn. Like these are two deliberate quadrants of good leadership. You know?
Excellent. For those out there struggling, whether it's, you know, physically, mentally, spiritually, what's one truth you wish every man understood?
Well, you know, I can only give you what I got, you know, and what I got is just the fact that, like, if I can give you any advice, the one component of my life that's made all the difference is my Heavenly Father, and that's just been. Like, I'm not this good, you know, like I'm pretty good. Like I've worked on it for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like I can sling these stones, you know, if I was David, I could get down with the sling. It was pretty good, but like I got some skills, but I only even stepped into half these battlefields, stepped into the ring because my father gave me the believing that he was going to meet me in the battlefield. And so if there's something that's made all the difference for me, it's me being like, the weight of what it takes to execute on my life doesn't just rest on my shoulders. I believe everything that I have is because I've been sent here on a mission from God to execute and manifest the things I'm working on. Therefore, he has responsibility to help me turn water into wine, slay freaking dragons, execute on a supernatural mission because he's a supernatural God. And so I don't feel all the stress and pressure to make payroll, to freaking pay my mortgage, and to even achieve the things that he's put in my heart to achieve. I know that I need to be faithful and I need to get in the freaking ring, and consistently he meets me out there and we create like supernatural results. So the thing that makes a difference is, you know, if you don't know what to do when you hit that wall, say, you know, hey, Heavenly Father, if I'm not perfect, but like I don't know how to do this, I need your help. Like, can you meet me out here? And that's what's literally got me through all the stuff.
Amazing. Huge thing among high performers and veterans, big conversation that's happening. You know, like I said, we're both veterans and we see it in the veteran community, is hormone health and longevity. You know, and then the talk is like, you can, if a guy dials in his discipline, dials in his nutrition, dials in his fitness, but your body is working against you because of injuries and age, you're fighting an uphill battle. So what's your personal journey with optimizing your health, and have you ever dealt with just feeling off but not knowing why?
Yeah, man. My personal journey really comes down to a lot of, well, I mean, there's two sides to this personal journey. There's the just got out of the Marine Corps and freaking I'm going ham into like gear and steroids and like getting up to 260 pounds. Of
The
just
EP
like,
world.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like I'm gonna be the most jackedest monster, dude. And I did. I got up there and actually I didn't like it very much. And then it was realizing like this is not efficient. And I'm like shaving time off the end of my life for sure, bro.
Yeah.
like, you know, and I'm not even that dangerous at this weight. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm a liability. So
I always like it, you know, because, you know, I'm obviously a big, huge jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
So it's like the dangerous guys are like the accountants that are 160 pounds with glasses, and they just roll in and just massacre everybody.
And they're thinking, and they're like up here right now, and and it's hard. You better figure it out before things happen. Like you better figure it out.
You could be the biggest, strongest guy, dude, and they're
you
just
can
like
do nothing. You know? Dude,
it's so true.
Super cerebral humans are freaky. So like, you know, there was that, and then I came down from that, and I was like, no, I just want to be efficient. And then I hit these sticking points, and honestly, what I've done the most of is I'll reset and I'll start fasting, you know, and I will literally.
For how long?
Every year I do a fast for at least a week. Usually I'll push it to like 13 days.
Wow.
1 year I went 40 days on just liquids. So Master Cleanse, you guys can look that up. this bad boy right here is why I be keeping this with me. But yeah, like I went 40 days,
I do a 72-hour every quarter.
and I think that's really good. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build in like a weekly fast and a monthly fast. And then every 6 months I'll do a week. And then at the beginning of every year I'll do some ridiculous thing. And the fasting helps so much spiritually, mentally, and physically. Because you're giving your body time to rest and really hit that baseline and get into what, I don't know the scientific terms, but like you're getting into that state of, I don't know if it's ketosis or whatever it is. But it's not ketosis. It's beyond that, the fasted state where you're in starvation.
I forgot the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a scientific name. But anyways, you're getting to this superhuman state. And like even when I was fasted for 40 days, dude, I felt like I didn't need food. And I was like reading people's minds. Like every project I wanted to get done was done. My brain was such an awesome state to be in. And then as far as the spiritual discipline, this is where you dominate your flesh. Like you dominate your primal drives.
Yeah.
Now the voices in your head are much more spiritual. You can hear God's voice and it's quiet. It feels quiet inside. Mm-hmm. It's gnarly. And you're demonstrating to yourself that I'm in charge. Like I 100% am dominating this technology I was given to do life with. And it's one of the most empowering things before you even get to the spiritual aspects of it. So that is how I have reset myself multiple times.
Did you ever feel like you were off and didn't know why? Like you just like been living a life and you're just like, something's off.
No, I haven't had that like where I was just like, I think like, no, I don't think I've really had that. I've always been super kind of like, this is the direction I'm hammering. If I feel like I'm getting too fat or too something, I'll slam the e-brake on. I'll go into a fast, get recentered, and then keep running.
Yeah.
With you guys, I mostly run peptides, man. I love the peptide game. That's my game right now. Like it's like unlocking superpowers in your biology, bro.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So obviously, testosterone decline is a real issue in veterans through injury, through age, and it's so when it comes to that, what do you think men are not hearing enough?
I think the biggest issue is a mix between the way that we're culturally put together, which is like, I don't ask for help. Like I just suffer in silence. Like this year, dude, I lost one of my buddies who was like, probably he was my workout partner. He was the most successful guy in our platoon, like he had businesses all over Greece, cybersecurity companies. Like this dude was the guy you would have not, like everyone says that, but like the dude, no. My boy Pierce was easy millionaire, traveling, had multiple properties all over the world, jacked, tan, so I think that we just suffer massively from a type of insecurity that causes us not to look for help. Maybe it's not even an insecurity. Maybe it's just that so many things get piled on. Yeah. You forget to look for help, know? Or you've been like let down so many times, like your mom is the only one, she loves you, but she can't never do anything about it. You know what I mean? And everybody else everyone else is just there to take, and you just forget that there are other people in the world that like, hey dude, I need to find someone to ask for help. So like, I think that whole cultural thing where we've both watched so many of our strong friends, better men than us, tap out. And no one knew about it and no one had any clue. That thing freaks me out. And I think that if you're in any kind of place where you're like, man, I'm not performing the same as I used to, and something's off, like, dude, I hate to sound like everyone else, but like say something. Yeah. Go talk to somebody who has what you want. Like that dude that's winning, start investigating, asking for help. You're not vulnerable for asking for help. Like it's a sign of strength. It really is, man.
Yeah, we have that backwards. Mm-hmm. We think asking for help is a sign of weakness
or something. Yeah.
No, weakness is hiding in your basement
and getting wrecked every night.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It takes some boldness and some courage to actually go, hey, like I'm not doing so well.
Like I don't have this figured out.
I don't have this figured out. I need some help.
Yeah. Like let me get some homework.
For sure.
Cheat off your homework real quick.
So how do you approach training, recovery, performance today versus back in 25-year-old?
Yeah, when you're indestructible, you know what I'm saying? Marine Corps, it was Motrin, change your socks. Right. Afterwards, it was steroids. Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah. Now, we got some better methods. I'd say the only place where I'm probably still kind of just not like everyone else's. I just don't require a lot of sleep. Like there's some dudes that got like a sleep doctrine that's like awesome. And
I do.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have a sleep system.
You see, and that I respect that. Anywhere where you have systems that are like giving you cheat codes and getting you ahead, like I love that stuff. But for me, for whatever reason, my dad's the same way. 5 hours, dude. I just wake up. So if I sleep more than 5 hours, I feel groggy and I hate myself, and it's like super disruptive. But I just don't perform as well. So like for me, sleep, I'm a clean 5 hours. I wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. Depending on what's going on. And as far as my workout, like I'll do my workout, I'll crush that, but I'm big on my UV sauna. That's massive.
Okay.
And then I'm big on my BPC 157 and my diet. I'm eating one ingredient foods if I'm not just paleo, bro.
I tell people all the time, single source ingredient foods. Cut if it's got a box and you got a whole paragraph of ingredients.
Nah, bro.
No.
Like, if God didn't make it, it's probably killing you.
Yeah.
Like, it's killing you.
Broccoli's got one ingredient. Yeah. Broccoli. Steak's got one ingredient. Steak.
Love freaking steak, bro. And so, like, I'm pretty mostly carnivore behaving, but, like, every once in a while, I'll get kind of paleo-ish and just eat whatever's around. But if it's got one ingredient, I'm trying to eat it. It's trying to be as natural as it can be. And between my UV sauna and then fasting, once a week, I try to go 24 hours. From Sunday to Tuesday, and then I'll go from once a month. I try to build in a 72-hour fast on one of those Sunday to Tuesdays, and then once a year we're gonna go a seven day or so, about 7 days, and I'll be in the gym on my lives talking to people. I'll be wanting to tell them something like, I haven't eaten for 4 days. We're still up in here, boy. But anyway, it's not the way you're supposed to do it. And then once a year I'll do a larger fast. So that just lets me recover.
Okay.
Yeah, it kills inflammation. It does so many.
It does.
Things. Yeah.
It really, really does. That's one of the reasons why I started doing it. Just giving that gut reset.
Yeah.
And then I noticed a huge inflammation, and nothing changes for me. My training stays the same. Like I go lift, I go do jiu-jitsu, I do the sauna cold plunge. It's just 72 hours. Not a big deal.
I ain't got on the cold plunge thing yet, bro. I don't know about that. That's like the one thing.
I got an ice barrel outside for you.
Yeah,
right
I know
now.
you do, man. But see, our ancestors were not cold plunging. Your ancestors, my man.
No, my ancestors were not cold.
Oh yeah,
plunging.
you're island dude like me, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mine was in the Bahamas chilling.
We were staying warm, man.
Right.
So obviously, the core medical military appreciation weekend is more than getting guys together and just hanging out. It's about reconnecting with people that are like-minded, and sharing successes and wins. So for you this time, what's been your biggest takeaway from being here this year?
My biggest takeaway is just the community, man. Like, there are very few communities like this. Like, as a veteran, for me to be able to come and see Sydney let us shoot all his ammo. And there's just like super dope guns everywhere, staccatos and tearing tactical this and that, and just like it's just
blasting everything.
Yeah, bro. And then to bring our families in, and like the girls are here shooting and doing jits, and like getting a class on situational awareness and medical TCCC and all this stuff that we're like, for us it's like, all right, cool.
And then eating good food.
Yeah, and then eating freaking the dang gourmet steaks every night. Like, it's just awesome, man. And community this year more than ever has been kind of coming up in my system is like so important. Like a lot of my life, I've never been a lone wolf. I've always just kind of been a leader, so I've been at the front, and I've always kind of had to be alone to like learn what and where and how I'm going to lead. But this year more than ever, like, I'm really seeing the value of community and getting high level values reinforced, and taking everything that you train to be and bringing that to a community and contributing all that hard work to an environment and making that environment better and all these things. And so when I look at the quality of the community and the values and the types of dudes that are here, man, I'm super blessed and super honored to be a part of and contribute and enjoy all that, and have my family around it.
That's awesome. So when you look around here at Men Today, what gives you hope?
Well, core gives me hope, man. Like, real talk, dude. Like, like I see these dudes, a bunch of meat eaters, Sydney's like, I put 300 sandwiches out. They were gone in 10 minutes. I'm like, bro, like you got a whole tribe of savages, bro.
Yeah,
You probably found like bread scattered around all around. All the meat was eaten out. But like that gives me hope. I see the pendulum kind of swinging. I've seen a lot of socially engineered, bad boy.
You know what I noticed this time, this year around? There's like a percentage of people that are more fit this year. A lot of same people that are more fit this year than they were last year.
Yeah.
So I see that the pendulum swinging in another direction, man.
Yeah, no, it is. And even in the values, I feel like a lot of things happened during this last 4 years that were like, they may have briefed good. Maybe it sounded good to be like a little more like free thinking and stuff. But I think there's a lot that came out of what happened in America and in the pandemic and everything that people are like, that sucks. Like they were like, that sucked.
We're too. It's like that clip from Hangover. Like, I think we fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
On the phone, I think we fucked up.
Like, there's some stuff we need to get back to that's healthy. It's good for men. It's good for women.
Yeah.
I think men are kind of being like, nah, man, we need to be more masculine. Like I'm seeing a lot of that. Young men are hitting me in the DMs and coming up to me being like, how can I like you want to mentor me, or can I they want that masculine certainty, and it's really cool. I feel like that pendulum's coming back, man, and we're in the right spot, to lead and invest, and God's given us some good experiences that are gonna lead some men in some good directions, I think.
So on that note, that exact note, for those who aren't here, they're watching, what's one piece of advice you give them to start building their own tribe of high caliber men? Yeah.
Well, like building your own tribe, I would say the first thing is, man, like that starts within you. Like you want to build a tribe, you better be making those deposits. You better be walking it. You want respect, you better be respectable. Like you better be trying to be the type of guy that dudes look at and they're like, I kind of can't do that. Like I want to go with this dude. Like when you open your mouth, like that strategy or whatever, wisdom, whatever it is that comes out, it needs to be like, there's levels. Like, let me go and get this dude's got a black belt. Let me go sit under him. Like you want to have that impact, and that doesn't just happen because you're special. Like you can invest in yourself and get there, but just don't let it be about your ego. Let it be about freaking service. So arriving at a better quality answer, if you want to start a tribe, you want to make some contributions, really focus on the quality of service you can render, the quality of the contributions you can render. When you find that, your gift, the gift you give people, will make room for you before kings, and people will really benefit from that and want to be with you. And you'll always be reciprocated and blessed in direct proportion to the quality of that gift.
It's a freaking excellent answer.
God is good.
Dude, appreciate you sharing all this stuff, man. So where can they find Byron? Because
man, I'm all over
you got, I think you got in trouble or something, and then you were a bad boy on Instagram. Bro, like me sometimes.
Yeah, man, I'll be getting locked up. I'm out of jail. I'm out on bail right now, bro. Things are good, dude. The algorithm.
They're good now.
Dope. Yeah, I got my platforms back.
Nice.
They're letting people see them. Like I'm growing like normal. Like it's like
it's the pendulum swing. We're back.
Bro,
we're back,
it's like
baby.
The end of a Wizard of Oz. Like it's like all the bad things are going back to normal now. It's nuts. But yeah. So just look me up on IG, Byron Rodgers _actual. That's the best place to start. Then from there, I serve you guys in a multiple different ways. You'll figure it out.
From there.
Yeah,
perfect. Well, thanks for coming on, man. It's always a pleasure to link up with you.
Yeah, bro. It's always an honor, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Heck yeah. Boom.